Okay, today I'm going to give you a task. You kind of look up here and see what it is. You're going to use Newton's second law and you're going to design an experiment. If you remember 2 days ago we were working with these fan cars. You kind of worked with the fan cars. You got an idea of how the fan cars worked. You had to calculate the speed, make a graph. You learned about acceleration. So you got an idea of how the fan cars work. But today what I want you to do is take your knowledge of the fan car and Newton's laws. Now on each table I've got a little sheet. It's got some information about Newton's laws. If you're lost, it can help you. But you're going to take that sheet, you can use your notes to do this, and you're going to do this. Look, your task is to design an experiment to test Newton's second law of motion using the fan car. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details about it because I want you to have to think. I'm not going to give you ideas, but you can adjust the fan car if you need to build it in a different shape, a different size. You can use more than one fan if you need to. You can make it different masses of it. Because you remember Newton's second law, I wrote them over here on the board, it says force equals mass times acceleration. That's the one that we're going to look at today. Because when you learn about Newton's laws, I've always experienced that the first law and the third law are fairly easy. Most kids don't get those quickly. They're easier. The second law is a little bit more difficult to understand because it has more parts to it. There's actually 2 parts. So what you're going to do is you're going to work as a group and write out your plan on paper. You don't have to come up with a hypothesis, but what you need to come up with, you need to have materials and you need to have a procedure, a step-by-step procedure. Make sure it's very detailed. Make sure, look, you must design a controlled experiment. Make sure to only test one variable. Remember, what's that one variable called? Independent variable. That's the only one you're going to test. You got to think about what your independent variable is and also what your dependent variable is going to be. So come up with the steps, think about what variables you're going to control, what are going to stay the same, and you're going to think about how you're going to make this test. So you're going to be very detailed. I'm going to give you a big sheet of paper, you're going to work together in your group, and you're going to come up with a plan. At the end of the period, we're going to present the plans, you'll stand up and present them, and we're going to vote on the one that we like the best. And the one that we like the best, we're actually going to test. Okay? So, fan cars, if you want to look at a fan car and think about how to design it, I've got some sitting out up here. Think about all the materials that we've used in class this year. Anything that I have, you can use it. If you need washers, if you need anything like that, if you need more connect parts to build the fan car differently, anything you want to do. But think about Newton's second law and also think about how to design an experiment. Now, I'm going to give you about 15 minutes to work on this. And I'm going to come around and give you a big sheet of paper. So talk amongst your groups, and I've got markers here. If you need markers to get those, you can get those and write your stuff out. Think about this, make a design, let's see who comes up with the best design. Okay? So get started in your group.
I got two. I got the wheels together.
Okay, now what's your question?
If you make just one model output that can turn over one AC fan, wouldn't that affect the speed? If you have one fan on that design,
So, hold on, now, what are you testing first of all? Amount of force? Now, remember, if you're testing the amount of force, the mass needs to stay the same. You don't want to test 2 variables. So, if you're building a car, you can't have one car with one fan and one car with 2 fans because you're changing the force and the mass.
so just put 2 fans on both of them, just don't turn one up.
Exactly, that's what you need to do. Good. That's what I think. Good job. But think about this, your fan, you don't have a fan like stuck out on the side like you'll fix it where it goes straight. That's good.
It's going to be wrong unless you can make it where it's tall enough for you to do it, and there it starts so it's high enough.
Can I not deposit
Okay, now what I want to do, listen, I want you to stand up, hold your poster up, now your paper, kind of present your work, what you want to do. At the end I may ask you a few questions. We only have enough time for each group to take about a minute. Now other groups, listen, pay attention because we're going to vote. You can't vote for yourself, you have to vote for another group. So you won't know who to vote for if you're not paying attention. Alright, we're going to start here. Look, we're going to go clockwise. We'll just go like this, makes it easy. That way we'll know where we're going next. So you understand up at your table? Now remember, speak nice and loud where he can hear you. Tell us what your plan is for testing it. Go ahead.
Newton's second law on a fan car. Procedure. We plan to add cargo, magnets, to the fan car to see how it affects its speed. For one trial, the car will have no cargo. The second trial, the car will. We will compare the speeds of the fan car with and without cargo. We will attach the magnets to the fan car with the rubber band. Unity predicts that the more mass the car has, the less acceleration it will have.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're gonna add mass. That's what your independent variable is. You're gonna change the mass of the car, and you're going to test, see the acceleration of the car. Okay, using magnets, it's good. Remember, know Newton's second law, kind of what it is, that way you can describe it, how you're using it with your plan. Okay? So you're going to keep the fan car just like we had it, just add magnets to it.
Yes.
All right, and test it. Now you said test the speed and the procedure, but you're really testing acceleration, right? How are you going to test acceleration? How did we do it the other day? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but think about how we did it when we tested acceleration. Do you just set it down, go from 0 to like 2 meters and see what it...
You test like the time intervals, like 0 meters to 0.4 meters, then 0 meters to 0.8.
Exactly. I just wanted you to think about that. Okay, good job. Let's go to the next group now. Y'all go ahead and stand up. Tell us what your plan is.
Newton's second law of motion. But, are two fans faster than one?
We're gonna build a car that can house like 2 fans, and we're gonna turn on only one of the fans for the first trial and see how long it takes it to go 2 meters.
Excellent. I'm glad you said it. Y'all know why? Tell us why you're going to build it with. Why not build one with 1 fan and one with 2 fans?
Because they have to have the same mass.
Exactly, because force equals mass times acceleration. What are you adjusting in this?
The number of fans.
Which stands for?
Force.
Force.
Yeah.
You're adjusting the force. Keep going. That's good. I like what you coming up with.
And then we're gonna turn on both of the fans and measure it and see which one went faster.
Okay, that's a great job. A good idea. Okay, let's go to the next group. Sorry to cut you off, but we got to hurry. It's a good plan. Next group. We can't only read yours, so you just have to kind of tell us.
Newton's second law. First, you create a small car out of kinetics. Then, you test the acceleration with 2 fans. Next, you will create a larger car. Then, you will test its speed with 1 fan. Next, you test the speed of the larger car with multiple fans. Then you will compare the data of the larger and smaller cars.
Okay. So see, look, you're kind of on the right track, but you're actually testing 2 different variables. You're testing the size of the car and the number of fans. Which, if you pick one or the other, would have been fine. But you're kind of mixing them together. So just think about that when you make your plan. But if you went with just one or the other, it'd been fine. Okay. All right. Good job. Let's go to the next group.
Okay, we named ours Flash because,
Oh, we came up with the name.
yeah, we wanted to name it. So, there you go. Okay.
Steps of building a car, set up a 4-meter racetrack or a 2-meter racetrack, whatever is needed at the time. We haven't completely decided yet. Test the speed every half meter and find the average time and speed. We're going to use a 2-fan car.
Okay, so you're building. How are you building? You're going to build the car to hold 2 fans.
Yeah.
Okay. So one time you're going to have it with 1 fan running,
Right.
and then 1 fan at a time. Okay, that's good. That's kind of what other groups do. I like that plan. That's good. Okay. All right, let's go to the next group.
We're going to get one car that has 2 fans on it, and on the first trial, we only turn on 1 fan.
All right.
On the next trial, we turn on both of them, and we measure in increments and see which one goes faster.
Okay. Now look, I know y'all kind of come up with the same plans, but there's 2 things you can test. You can test the mass of the car, or you can test the force of the car. And I like y'all are all coming up with the same plan, which is good, because there's not a whole lot of different ways you can test this. All right, so that's a good plan. All right, next group.
the same distance for each car. You will test how long it takes the smaller car to go the distance and how long it takes the bigger car. This will show how much longer it takes the bigger car to go as for mass.
Okay, so you're testing the mass. You're just gonna build a bigger car and a smaller car? Instead of having one car with like weights on it, that's fine. That would make a more massive car. So you use one fan both times, right? Okay. All right, good job. And last group?
We are going to have two fan cars. One will be like a normal fan car, and then the second one will be one with 4 washers that we tape to it. And we are going to have 2 meter sticks, and we're going to mark on both ends. And then we're going to mark 0.4 meters in between each. And we're going to test the acceleration of both and see the difference between them.
Okay. Excellent. That's kind of, I like that you got 4 washers. It's a good plan. All right, good job. You have a seat. Now, overall, listen, y'all come up with some great ideas for this, and we're going to vote on it in a second, but I like how you're thinking. Remember, in a controlled experiment, we can only test one variable. We really had one group kind of wanted to test 2 variables. Most of y'all had that down. And then the second law, remember, there's really 2 parts to it. You can either change the force, or you can change the mass. That's the 2 things we can experiment with this, and y'all come up with both. So y'all did a very good job. I'm proud of you, because you had some good ideas.